Welcome to Legends Forever, with Richard bringing you a place of remembrance for extraordinary lives that continue to inspire long after they are gone. Here we honor timeless figures from film, music, sports, and culture, reflecting on their achievements, their influence, and the memories they left behind. Every tribute is a celebration of legacies that will never be forgotten. Bobby Sherman, born on July 22, 1943, is remembered as one of those entertainers who became a defining face of a generation. He first rose to fame in the late 1960s as a teen idol, admired for his warm presence, youthful charm, and musical talent. His songs, including Little Woman and Julie, Do You Love Me?, became widely popular and were played across radio stations, making him a familiar name in many households. Alongside his music career, he also built a strong television presence. One of his most recognized roles was in Here Come the Brides, where his on-screen appeal further strengthened his popularity. At his peak, he represented a style of clean-cut celebrity that resonated strongly with audiences of that era. What makes his story especially notable is the direction his life took after fame. Instead of staying fully within the entertainment spotlight, he chose a different path focused on public service. He trained as an emergency medical technician and later worked as a deputy sheriff, dedicating himself to helping others in practical and meaningful ways. He lived to the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy that goes beyond music and television. Bobby Sherman is remembered not only for his early fame, but also for the grounded and service-driven life he chose afterward, showing a quiet commitment to purpose and community. John Madden would have turned 90 this week, a reminder of just how deeply he shaped American football across different eras. He first rose to prominence as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, where his leadership, intensity, and straightforward approach helped define the team's identity. Under his guidance, the Raiders reached the highest level of success, including a Super Bowl victory, and he became known for his ability to connect with players while demanding excellence on the field. After stepping away from coaching, he transitioned into broadcasting, where his larger-than-life personality and genuine enthusiasm made him one of the most beloved voices in sports television. He had a unique way of explaining the game in simple, relatable terms, which helped both longtime fans and newcomers enjoy football more deeply. Beyond coaching and commentary, his legacy extended into popular culture through the Madden NFL video game series, which introduced generations of players to the sport in an interactive way and remains one of the most influential franchises in gaming history. He passed away at the age of 85, but his influence continues to be felt in how football is watched, understood, and enjoyed around the world. Ernie DJ Lord Sear passed away at the age of 52, leaving behind a strong legacy in music, radio, and hip-hop culture. He was widely respected for his voice on New York City radio and for his role in shaping early platforms that highlighted emerging rap talent. Through his work, he helped introduce and support rising artists who would later become major figures in the music industry, including names like Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, and the Fugees. His influence went beyond radio, as he also worked as a producer and creative collaborator in the broader entertainment world. Lord Sear contributed to live tours as well, including working alongside Eminem during the Anger Management Tour, bringing his energy and personality to live audiences. He also appeared in popular culture through voice work in the Grand Theft Auto series, adding another layer to his creative career. His passing is being remembered with respect and gratitude for his contributions to music and broadcasting. While some personal details remain private out of respect for his family, his impact is clear in the artists he supported and the audiences he reached. He is remembered as a passionate voice in hip-hop, someone who helped shape the culture from behind the mic while staying deeply connected to its roots. Christopher Sims, the Nobel Prize-winning economist known for his influential work on macroeconomic cause and effect, passed away at his home in Minneapolis at the age of 83. His death followed injuries sustained from a fall, marking the end of a life dedicated to understanding some of the most complex questions in economics. Sims was widely respected for reshaping how economists and policymakers analyze the relationship between inflation, interest rates, and broader economic forces. In 2011, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences for developing methods that help clarify how different economic factors influence one another over time, providing a clearer framework for interpreting data and making policy decisions. Beyond his research, he was deeply valued as an educator, spending much of his academic career teaching and mentoring students at Princeton University, as well as earlier roles at Harvard University, Yale University, and the University of Minnesota. Many of his students went on to become influential economists in their own right, carrying forward his analytical approach. Sims is remembered not only for his technical contributions to economics, but also for the clarity and discipline he brought to the field, leaving behind a legacy that continues to shape both academic thought and real-world economic policy. The television world recently said goodbye to Mel Schilling, who passed away at the age of 53 following complications from cancer. Many people knew her as a relationship and dating expert, but for viewers, she was also a calm and reassuring presence who helped others navigate some of the most emotionally challenging parts of their lives on Married at First Sight. For more than a decade, she worked with individuals who took a bold step into arranged marriages with complete strangers, offering guidance as they tried to build real connections under unusual circumstances. What stood out most about her was not just her professional insight, but the way she communicated with empathy and clarity. She had a grounded approach that made difficult conversations feel more manageable, and many participants felt genuinely supported during moments of doubt or confusion. Off-camera, colleagues often spoke about her kindness and the respect she showed to everyone she worked with, regardless of the situation. For fans and co-workers alike, her presence carried a sense of warmth that stayed with them long after the cameras stopped rolling. Alan Jackson's life and career represent a rare blend of perseverance, humility, and emotional honesty in modern country music. Rising from a modest rural upbringing in Noonan, Georgia, he built his path gradually, without industry privilege or shortcuts. His journey reflects steady determination rather than sudden luck, shaped by years of hard work, rejection, and patience. As he entered the music world, he faced a rapidly changing industry, yet chose to stay rooted in traditional storytelling instead of following shifting trends. This decision defined his artistic identity and helped him stand out. Throughout his career, he remained guided by strong personal values such as family, faith, and authenticity. His songs often captured simple, real-life experiences that resonated with everyday listeners. Over time, this consistency earned him deep respect, making him not only a successful artist, but also one of country music's most trusted and enduring voices. Early life in Georgia. Alan Jackson's early years in Noonan, Georgia, were shaped by a simple but deeply rooted way of life. He grew up in a home where comfort came from family connection rather than material wealth. The environment around him was quiet, rural, and closely tied to tradition, which naturally influenced how he viewed the world. Instead of being surrounded by luxury or fast-changing modern culture, he experienced a slower pace of life where people valued honesty, hard work, and mutual support. Gospel music and classic country songs were a regular part of his surroundings, often heard in daily routines and family moments. This early exposure helped him develop an emotional awareness that later became central to his songwriting. He was not a child who demanded attention. Instead, he observed everything carefully, absorbing stories, emotions, and small details of life. That quiet observation shaped his ability to write songs that feel real and relatable. His upbringing taught him humility without needing to be told, and that grounded nature stayed with him throughout his life. First steps toward music. Alan Jackson's introduction to music began in a very natural and unforced way. As a teenager, he did not set out to become a professional musician. Instead, music slowly became a personal space where he could express thoughts and feelings he could not easily put into words. He taught himself guitar in a patient, self-guided manner, learning basic chords and practicing along with songs he heard on the radio. There was no formal training or structured plan, just curiosity and enjoyment. During this time, he also worked regular jobs, like many young people in his community, which kept him grounded in everyday responsibilities. Music remained something he returned to in quiet moments, almost like a private companion rather than a career goal. Writing songs started as a personal habit, helping him process emotions and experiences. The support and stability he found in his personal relationship during these years also gave him confidence to keep going, even when music seemed uncertain as a future path. Over time, what began as a simple hobby slowly grew into something more meaningful. Without pressure or expectation, he gradually built the foundation of a musical identity that would later define his entire career. The move to Nashville. Moving to Nashville marked a major shift in Alan Jackson's life, bringing both hope and uncertainty. Entering the city's music scene meant stepping into a highly competitive environment where thousands of aspiring artists were trying to be noticed. Success was not guaranteed, and rejection was a common experience for almost everyone trying to break through. During this period, he worked regular jobs to support himself financially while continuing to write songs whenever he could. Life was far from glamorous, and progress felt slow, but he remained committed to his goal. What stood out most during this time was his patience and willingness to keep going despite repeated setbacks. Instead of being discouraged by the difficulty, he used the experience to improve his songwriting and better understand what the industry expected. Every small step forward came through persistence rather than luck. He gradually began meeting people who recognized his potential, which helped him build early connections in the industry. This phase of his life was not defined by immediate success, but by steady growth. Breakthrough in music career. Alan Jackson's breakthrough came when his music began to stand out for its honesty and traditional country style. At a time when the genre was shifting toward more polished and commercial sounds, his approach felt refreshingly grounded. His early recordings carried a sense of simplicity that listeners could immediately connect with, as they reflected real emotions and everyday experiences. His debut album introduced him as a voice that did not rely on trends or excessive production, but instead focused on storytelling and authenticity. This decision to stay true to his style, rather than adapt to changing industry expectations, became a defining moment in his career. People responded strongly to the sincerity in his songs, which often felt personal yet universal at the same time. As a result, his recognition grew steadily rather than suddenly, building a strong and loyal audience. This phase marked his transition from a struggling songwriter into a respected artist with a clear identity. The breakthrough was not just about one successful moment, but about the gradual acceptance of his music by listeners who appreciated its emotional clarity. Influence on country music. Alan Jackson's influence on country music extends beyond his personal success as a recording artist. He played an important role in preserving the traditional sound of the genre during a period when many artists were moving toward more pop-influenced styles. His commitment to classic instrumentation and storytelling helped maintain a connection to country music's roots. This approach ensured that the original spirit of the genre remained visible even as it evolved. Many younger artists later looked up to him as an example of how to stay authentic while still achieving commercial success. His work demonstrated that simplicity in music could still resonate strongly with audiences. Rather than relying on complexity or trend-driven production, he focused on emotional clarity and relatable themes. This influence helped shape the direction of modern country music by reminding the industry of the importance of tradition. His presence acted as a bridge between older and newer generations of listeners and musicians. Over time, he became more than just a performer. He became a reference point for authenticity in the genre. His contribution helped preserve the balance between innovation and tradition in country music. Personal life and family. Alan Jackson's personal life has always been a central part of his identity and stability. Despite the demands of fame, he maintained a strong focus on family relationships and personal values. His long marriage and close family bonds provided emotional grounding throughout his career. He often chose to prioritize time with his loved ones over extended periods on the road, whenever possible. This decision reflected his belief that personal relationships were more important than professional success alone. He also worked intentionally to keep his family life private, allowing his children to grow up away from constant public attention. This helped create a sense of normalcy despite his fame. His role as a husband and father deeply influenced his outlook on life and even shaped some of his artistic choices. Family became a source of strength during both successful and difficult periods. It also reminded him of what truly mattered beyond music and recognition. This balance between public career and private life allowed him to remain grounded. Public recognition and legacy. Throughout his career, Alan Jackson received numerous awards and honors that reflected both his popularity and his artistic contribution. However, despite this recognition, he consistently maintained a humble attitude toward success. For him, the most meaningful achievement was not industry awards, but the connection he built with listeners. His music became part of people's daily lives, often associated with personal memories, celebrations, and emotional moments. This deep connection gave his work a lasting impact that extended beyond charts and statistics. His songs were appreciated not just for their melody, but for their ability to reflect real human experiences in a simple and honest way. Over time, this emotional resonance became a key part of his legacy. He is remembered as someone who stayed true to his artistic values while achieving widespread success. His work continues to influence both listeners and musicians, shaping how country music is understood and appreciated. Health challenges and aging. In the later stages of his life, Alan Jackson faced health challenges that gradually affected his physical abilities and performance style. These changes required him to adjust the way he approached live shows and touring schedules. Despite these limitations, he continued to perform for as long as possible, showing a strong sense of dedication to his craft. His willingness to remain on stage, even with difficulty, reflected his deep connection to music and his audience. Rather than avoiding the topic of aging, he addressed it with honesty and acceptance. This openness helped fans understand the reality of his situation and created a sense of respect and empathy. Aging naturally changed his performances, making them more reflective and emotionally focused rather than physically dynamic. However, his voice and storytelling ability remained powerful. This stage of his life highlighted both vulnerability and resilience, showing that artistic expression can continue even as physical strength changes. Reflection on life and music. Looking back on Alan Jackson's journey reveals a life shaped by consistency, emotional honesty, and perseverance. His music continues to connect with people because it reflects real human experiences in a simple and relatable way. Across different stages of his life, he maintained a clear artistic identity that did not shift with changing trends. This stability is one of the reasons his work remains timeless. His story is not defined by perfection, but by endurance through both success and difficulty. The emotional depth in his songs comes from lived experience, which gives them authenticity. Listeners continue to find meaning in his music because it speaks to universal emotions such as love, loss, memory, and hope. His career demonstrates that staying true to one's voice can create a lasting impact that goes beyond temporary popularity. Even as time passes, his songs continue to feel relevant because they are rooted in real life rather than trends. Closing perspective. Alan Jackson's legacy stands as an example of how authenticity and dedication can shape a meaningful career. His journey shows that success built on honesty and emotional truth can endure far beyond changing trends in the music industry. He is remembered not only for his achievements, but for the way his music connects with people on a personal level. His songs continue to be part of everyday life for many listeners, offering familiarity and emotional comfort. The consistency in his work reflects a strong sense of identity that never wavered despite industry changes. His story highlights the importance of staying grounded while navigating fame and success. Even as time moves forward, his music remains relevant because it reflects universal human experiences. His legacy is carried not just in awards or recognition, but in the emotional impact his songs continue to create.